Hey, how's it going? So, okay, first, please look at my signs. Um, there you go. So, I am gonna talk, and I have some cards that I haven't pulled them yet, or thrown them, or they're still all in the deck. They are not new, they're newish. I got them a little while ago, and they were in the bargain section on Amazon, and they're this deck. And I don't know why that title grabbed me, because it wasn't just about it being cheap, because just because stuff is cheap, you don't want to just buy it. I don't. I don't know about you. But anyway, so I got them, and I looked at them a little bit, and I think probably most people that have these and do the cards and do this with them, not necessarily on camera, but one of my bracelets, just the string broke. Okay. Oh, I like that one. Doggone it. Well, okay. We'll just add that in to here. Okay, so yeah, they're all over the place, and they're like under the stove now too. It was inexpensive. I'll get another one someday. Anyway, these cards, I looked at them, and okay, first of all, this alone is like an eat, pray, love sign, and it made me think of, you may know this from past referrals. I'm a Seth MacFarlane cartoon fan, and he kills like the eat, pray, love signs in the, there's an episode of Family Guy where Lois is just totally taken by this dumbass sign that says, but first coffee, and Peter's just not having it. He's like, that is stupid, but first what? And it's like, no, I mean, I get it, but first everything coffee. But it is stupid. Like, I get it from both sides. But anyway, well, let's put it this way. I'm not in a hurry to buy one of those things and bring them into my house. So I kind of get it, where he's coming from with it, or the writers on those shows, Family Guy and American Dad. But it's not like the best recommendation for something that looks like this, right? But, like I said, bargain price. So I opened them up, and I must have looked. They have. Well, here's what I discovered. I opened them up, and I looked at one side. I picked up a card, as I'm going to do now, and it says, "Tame the shit show by finding calm in the chaos." This is a better one, because it has like these, eat, pray, love sign sort of sentiments written on a lot of them. And I was like, oh man, oh well, it was cheap. And then I was like, recently, I think they've been here a couple of months now, and I kind of was like, oh shoot, I need cat food money or something. And I was like, oh, maybe I'll return those, because then I can get like whatever I paid, $6-7 back, and that's enough to get cat food or whatever the emergency was for like a little bit of time. And then something else happened, and whatever the emergency was fixed itself, but I didn't end up returning the cards. So I took them out again this weekend. I am so sorry about that. Never mind. But then I realized, oh, there's something on the other side that's not just the name of the deck. Okay, so here's an example. Now, I probably picked it up and looked at it. It says, look at it. One word: meditate. However, on the other side, it says tame the shit show by finding calm in the chaos. As a whole, that's a lot better, okay? So, okay. I decided that I am definitely just going to keep these cards. They do have potential. And I started to say, usually, like, someone that deals with, you know, tarot cards or whatever, oracle cards a lot, will, like, you introduce yourself to each other. You familiarize yourself with the cards and purify them. And, like, everybody's got their thing that they do. And for me, it's just different every time. There's no particular formula. So I have spent a little while with these, and I didn't really look at all of them at all. I like it to be a surprise, to be honest. So I'm going to use them to sort of get a feel for something that happened. And then, like, as I've been thinking about it, it ends up being attached to so many other things. Like, everything that happens is connected to all these other things and layers and levels. And so, here's what happened. I'm on Blue Sky, and I see this person had posted something about, like, something happening in the government. And, well, this was not me. I should have said, this is a rhetorical question or statement, but I said, oh my God, how did we get so screwed up? Because I learned after a conversation began with me and this other person that our perspectives on the matters are so different that they actually cause two people that I think essentially agree to be like, she wanted to argue with me, and I ended up blocking them, and my blood pressure started to go up, and I was like, now I have to block you. So wow. I'm sorry, I'm a little preoccupied because I'm stepping on beads. But the major disagreement was what we felt was like the problem. So she was like all mad at Trump because of what he says and how he acts and what he does. Like, I agree, he sucks. But she was like, he's doing all of this, and I had to point out, like, well, that's not really how it works. So there's more to be mad at here, is what I was saying, basically, because the normal way that things work, there are processes, like, even if it's an executive order, they still have to go through the structure normally. Like, you can't just go, I don't like that person's hair, so they have to shave it. That's the executive order. Like, that's probably unconstitutional on so many levels. And then that's an example. I don't know if that is workable in reality, but you get what I'm saying. To find something spiteful and superficial to go medieval on you about with an executive order, and it's like, just because he's the president and he can write those and make those declarations doesn't mean that they can all go through because of the process. Like, some of it is going to run into illegality or unconstitutionality. You see what I'm saying? And so I was like, the problem is the people that are supposed to be getting in the way of this kind of stuff, the legislators and the judiciary, are like, just like, I am not at work today. And she's like, well, you gotta vote. And I was like, yeah, just vote your way out of the troubles, and it's so much more there to be done than just that. I mean, if that fixed anything, we wouldn't be where we are, right? No, the problem is, like, the whole system is breaking down for a number of reasons, you know? Like, for instance, on a different platform, Facebook, someone was saying one of the judges chuck and folded was what all they said was chuck and folded. And, I expressed my dismay, but I had to add, like, they are in a lot of cases, as I was saying, people in charge or people that should be getting in the way of this sort of bulldozing of laws and constitutionality that Trump and company are doing is because of like the mega culture of doxing people to death. And then look, Elon Musk has brought, I almost called him Neon Musk, has been causing some awful problems too. And I mean, we're not used to his kind of like, I don't know if people know about white South Africa very much, but if you do, then it explains a lot of his behavior right now. But at the same time, that's all wrong too. Like, that is just should not be happening the way it's happening at all. And I was saying, those are the problems. Like, the Trump in his mouth are not really the problem. He has always been offensive. He's always been a liar. But now he's enabled to do so much worse stuff. And so I felt bad that I could not, like, have a conversation with someone I essentially agreed with. Because I kept saying, like, okay, and trying to leave, and then she kept coming back and leaving these long things, and like, his family did this, that, the other thing, and they got this money for that. And I'm like, don't affect what I said at all. You're right, but it doesn't affect what I said. Like, those are not the problems. They're symptoms. But by then I had looked at the last one and blocked her. So, but like, it is probably better not to have a whole lot of concern with what people think about what you think. But you shouldn't be inconsiderate. I think there's room for both ways to be, or more ways to be even. So I am just gonna pull out some cards of this deck and see just what does it have to say on the matter. So I've been shuffling them for a while. They are not really, well, they're kind of sticking together, so maybe they can't really fly out. I should have maybe spent more time shuffling them before now. So I'm just going to have to start like pulling them out from random. There's one from the middle. One from, come on, whoa, okay. That one jumped off, so there's two from the bottom. I'll start with just three. So, okay, first we got all blissed out and, oh wait. Okay, all blissed out and nowhere to go. The other side reads, guess I'll just chill. Well, considering how I was just saying how I feel about what just happened, well, it didn't just happen, it happened a few days ago. This conversation made me feel like bad, like I feel like it should have gotten better, but I don't know, like I think I was feeling like, we're in agreement. It's like pretty cool, right? And then it turned into like this weird argument, and I'm still puzzled by it. But I feel like my opinion had nowhere to go. Like, this person was like, Trump is the problem. I'm like, yes, he is. But he and his personal stuff is not really the institutional problem, which is what I'm more concerned with. We just couldn't meet in the middle of those 2 points, because they actually are not, like I said, there's a lot of layers and levels to this stuff. Don't worry about it, really, because I guess I'll just chill. I wish this were, I mean, I don't know, was that whole process I just went through in front of you zen as fuck? I don't know. Trying to make it, well, see, there's a problem right there. Trying and making. That's what those guys are doing. The whatever is happening in the government at the top there today. I don't know if the Musk and the Trump, who's in charge, is the kid in charge. Like, what? Who knows what's going on over there? It's gonna happen regardless. Okay, so for this one, this is what I often think to kind of bring myself down to earth when reality gets too real. You know, like when you're totally existent, subsistent, your whole existence relies on social services, and people are like, we're going to take that away, and you people are committing, because essentially they're accusing the recipients of being criminals and fraudsters. And my thought earlier today was, that's bullshit. You just want the money. But really, you wouldn't say that, and you wouldn't think that it had so many holes in it, like any of the social systems, if you applied for them. Why don't you go down there and try to go through the application process and see what is actually involved and what they actually require of you to even receive it. This dude's just coming in and going, welfare queens, like it's the essential equivalent of that to me. And if that phrase, term, 2 words, welfare queen, is not, I mean, it's kind of obvious, but you might need context, and right now that particular context would matter. So here's the part where you gotta be like kind of zen about the whole thing, and it's like, what is the word? Well, it's like when two concepts like defy each other. What is the word? Oh God. You know, I'll remember like in the middle of the night, I'll wake up and be out, oh, anti-blah. So, okay. But I have to reconcile, like, okay, like, don't be getting your blood pressure up over this stuff, because the simulation, the Matrix thing, whatever, like, this, like, I have this other card, this deck I have this other deck, and there's a card in it that it's talking about, I'm not this hair, I'm not this face, I'm just here, like, living out this lifetime, playing a role, you know, separating the, you know, reality from the reality, which is, oh my God, there's a lot of ways to even think about that, but of, like, being born into this world as a soul that prior to birth made a completely sentient decision with other sentient beings to plot out a life course and then be born into the life path, the course that you have pre-planned to live, but you don't remember the catch is one of the layers, one of the levels is to remember that that's also happening concurrently at the same time. Well, like Trump and Musk, or World War II, or, you know, sorry I'm so America-centric, but I want to try and talk about what I'm talking about with as much authority and like know what the hell I'm talking about it. You know what I mean? Like, if I start straying to other countries and other times, I'm gonna quickly what kind of Freudian was that? I'm gonna quickly go into the weeds of I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, and I don't want to insult other people and myself with that. So all of that jibber jabber I just spouted out comes, like, you could say that is a symptom of trying to reconcile those two living existences in myself and also everybody else at the same time. levels and layers, like like numbers you can't even conceive of. Like the AI can't even think of a number that high. It's crazy. It's like count the number of processes that happen inside your body to make you be an alive person. Like I don't even have, like, all of the words that convey big numbers are not big enough. It's that big. And now I've lost track of what the hell I was talking about. But yeah, if you can, like, get a handle on all of that and lock it down and function as a normal human being, or a successful one by, like, the American, or actually probably global, metric of success, which is power and money. Sorry. Got a little out of control. So the other side of this card says, let me calm down the crazy. Chakras loaded and ready to go. Well, I mean, there's something to that. If you have them, like, in proper working order, well, a little goes a long way. Like, they're a big help, as far as keeping you grounded, and really the keeping grounded helps with the dissonance of being alive and then being aware of all these other levels and layers and things. The next card was Be Here Now. And the other side reads, come on, inner peace. I don't have all day. Okay, so this is an interesting statement on sort of calming that burst of, whatever that was you just saw me have. And that is, I don't always remember this, but it kind of grounds me and brings me back to one, to say, here and now, to remind myself that whatever flight of worry or fancy my mind is trying to drag me off unreasonably into, because it is then worrying and does things to my blood pressure, which I don't really want it to do, the best way, or one of them, if I can, because, different situations call for different measures of calming for me, but to say here and now is just like a mnemonic for me to go, hey, all of that is whatever, and yeah, it's that's whatever's raising your heart, your blood pressure 3 weeks from now, but that's then, and this is now. So, yeah, I mean, that resonates for me. And then, come on, inner peace, I don't have all day. Well, I mean, I have the luxury of, fiddling around and coming down to earth. And I'm over here getting my blood pressure raised. There's nothing happening. I'm not required to do that. I'm not, like, punching a clock. There's nobody on my back bugging me, hollering. My clothes are crooked. Never mind. And yet I still get myself all worked up. But if you are in a situation where you can't just, like, spaz out the way I can, like, you're at work and you have to, like, get it together quick. Well, I mean, I did used to have jobs, and I did used to have my little measures to, like, get it together then, which would be, like, I don't know, I smoked cigarettes at the time, so cigarette break, thank God for those, I guess, at the time, for that, but little else. Or bathroom, just like, I'm gonna go inventory that room, or I'm gonna go clean the thing that no one ever cleans. Just find a way to get the frick away from everything for a minute to, like, be here now, like, drag yourself back to one. But that was just my experience. I am a cat person with a chihuahua sort of being. Like, I'm a nervous wreck. So another thing happened that was sort of based around a conversation that was striking to me was I have people that come and help me out, and also like spend time with me so I don't go nuts because I don't talk to other people. A caregiver, and so among other things, besides errands, we talk a lot. And so she was having some sort of thing in her personal life happen because her phone was blowing up, and that's fine. Like, well, it doesn't matter. It was fine. So finally I said, like, what's going on? And she's like, well, I'm getting a call from my son's school. And basically what she told me was like this microcosm of some of the messed upness of like having children in the modern era that go to school and stuff. And it's a little boy, 6 years old. So most of what she was saying, I was like, 6-year-olds do that. But the teacher was reacting like he was being as disruptive as like a teenager of questionable sobriety was behaving. And he probably has, like, he may be on the spectrum from what she was saying because he doesn't understand cues, social cues. Like he'll just miss things and hurt people like without meaning to, but at the same time, and this is I guess what he got in trouble for, was another kid that he's friends with, a little girl, was being picked on by a little boy, and then he went over and like socked the little boy. And I thought, okay, well, maybe a little complex, but still 6-year-old stuff. And the teacher was acting like she wanted to medicate him. And I guess there'd been other incidents. And the woman, the caregiver who's the mother of this child, was, I thought, like, I just thought like she understood like the situation before, and then as we talked I got more context because she has like other kids that are like in their teens, so like kind of like vastly older and different, but one of them was a male and kind of was the same way when he was younger. And the other thing about what we were talking about was like these manifestations of like banging your head on the wall, or in her case, like I'm talking, the wall was like someone that I'm related to that they did when they were a kid. And then like hers was like the crib was what they banged on. And then this kid also was like, if he'd get in trouble and get a spanking, he'd laugh. If he'd fall and like hurt himself, he would laugh. And that is like another sounds like another relative of mine. So I know that like if it's happening to one or two people, it's happening to a whole bunch of other people, like big numbers again. And I just didn't think any of what... Well, okay, so the other son gave her insight to this one now. So she did medicate the older one, and it messed up his digestion, and then he ended up growing out of a lot of things. And so she doesn't want to do this to the young one. And I don't have kids, but like I said, I have like siblings and cousins, and they all have little ones, and I've certainly been around all of theirs, and I have friends with little ones, and I've been a little one, and I've worked with little ones, so I'm not unfamiliar with them. And as we were talking, she didn't really need the reassurance that much because she'd already been experiencing it. But the thing is like these things like ADHD and autism that they want to throw medicine at, and they have all these negative associations with. I was like, the rise of like autism for one thing, that they're trying to blame on all this stuff, and I have reasons for thinking that like definitely it's not the vaccines. It's not a result of something humans are doing like a chemical runoff is causing it. It's not that. It's more of a cultural uprise. It has sort of caused this type of person to be more and more introduced into the population, because they're actually teaching us things we need to know, and that, like, they're not wrong. They have a different perception. So as we were talking, I got to reassure her that, and she was already seeing it in her, like, late teen, older child, that they grow out of it and then they learn how to, like, work in the society where they're not getting all the clues. Like, once they understand that happens, they develop coping mechanisms. Just like people with dyslexia become extremely successful, despite, like, all of the real and perceived barriers between them and that success. They figure out ways to do it, and it's almost like more of them end up that way than impoverished and gazing at their navel because they're dyslexic. They're not necessarily things wrong with you. We just haven't learned how to work them, and then we haven't learned how to, like, be, to integrate with these other people in the society. Like, have some people, like this woman's kid's teacher, is just like, oh, bad behavior is something to be exterminated or whatever. And I was like, that is systemic, and she may not have a lot of room to, like, defy what she's being required to do. So that's something to keep in mind. But I did ask her, I said, is she a young person or an older person? And I was surprised that she was, like, she seemed to think she was, like, 40 or near 40. And she didn't know if she had kids, but I just thought she really wasn't given, like, once I heard what the problem was. Oh, so the socking thing was a different time, but I guess that came into it too. The issue she had today was that there was some sort of insignia that she had created and she had to pay for herself, which is one of those teacher sort of things that I was just talking about, that, like, creates a lot of restrictions for them. Like, they can't, the stuff that they needed to do their work with and for the children used to be provided, and now they have to, buy it themselves and get GoFundMe's and get donations. Like, just all of the stuff for the teacher too, right? But as she was sort of telling me what was happening, like, with the kids and the way that she dealt with them, and she just took, like, advice from the teacher and the doctors and then, like, worked it into however she knew what worked with her kid, which is something the teacher, I noticed, was in a dire lack of. And I was like, you really should share some of this with this woman, because here's what I'm hearing is the reason why the kid keeps messing up and losing, or whatever the problem is with the insignia, that he doesn't have it when he needs it to do the thing that it does. And it's a repeating thing, and it's been going on for a while. And I said, hey, tell her you'll just pay for it. Like, if he needs replacements, give her $20 or $40, like, whatever it is, or give you the template. She was like, give me the template, I'll make them. Every time he loses them, I'll make a copy. Like, it doesn't need to be put him on medication. And I was like, that's awesome. Like, like, that's a good way to come back at it. And she's not saying that he doesn't have these things that he does. She is aware of it, but she just knows, I don't know, it's better to offer him, like, an apple than a bonk on the head with a club, So, and I was like, well, if a little kid keeps not doing something and you've explained 100 times something, you kind of got to take it from their point of view. Like, they might not have the vocabulary to say, I don't want to do that, and here's why. Like, you got to kind of figure it out, right? He's 6 years old. And I'm like, I don't have kids and I'm not the teacher, but I can tell you that much. Like, and she's like, well, I record like everything that happens with him and how I deal with it. And so that, and I was like, so CPS can't take your kid? She's like, well, yeah, basically. Because when your kid is at home bashing his head against whatever and they're bruised up, you know what the teacher's going to do. They have to report it. And you can go in there and say whatever, but I feel like whatever you say is not going to help you in that situation. So she was smart and she recorded it. I was like, I think like at the end she came up with some solutions and she's going to get it worked out, I'm sure, with the teacher. And the teacher is going to learn some things that I feel like it ain't going to hurt her to learn. This woman I was impressed by how patient and smart she is. And I was like, since you record everything, you need to also be compiling it and then make a book and sell it, because I'm telling you, there's got to be other people out there having these same experiences that might, everybody doesn't deal with stuff the same way. Some people will stuff will just go on because they just, for whatever reason, don't deal with it the same way she is. But there are people that would want to know options and to hear about her experience, because like I said, there are more and more people being born with ADD, OCD, autism spectrum, and I was like, we have to start understanding this in a different way than it's something that's wrong with these people, because they do learn to function and become very successful, and I feel like we're the ones missing the cues here. Just like I feel like the teacher, I mean, I don't know about her class size and the behavior of the other kids, but I feel like she's really coming down on this boy. And I feel like there people like him are going to outnumber the rest of us, and we all need to, again, learn how to integrate with each other in these things. And everything doesn't have to be a fight and a hassle, but I was like, yeah, you need to keep track of that and compile it and then publish it and sell it, and then you can afford to get a teaching student or a young teacher or a teacher that can't do the school thing anymore, and hire the tutor, because they need to be homeschooled, and she has a job and other kids, and it's like, that costs money, that kind of thing costs money. But I just thought she just had some really smart and compassionate ways of dealing with her kids, and also understanding exactly how those kids were gonna be out in public, and how they would affect other people, and how that would in turn affect them. So she's really on it, and I was my scalp back here is doing weird things. That always happens when I have some sort of download going on. I was just gonna say I want to pull some cards kind of about her. So that one you saw, well, you didn't see, but that one jumped out or flipped over. You get another one. Oops, there we go. Well, then now they're all like, okay, I'll play. Cool, then they work. The cards work. I always like a good purchase. I don't know about this. Okay, one more, please. One more card. Alright, why does it feel like I'm having a vampire bite on my neck? That is weird. But a vampire with one tooth, I have no idea what I'm feeling. I hope it's not some kind of stroke or something. Okay, 2 came out, so we will take them. Alright. And, okay, calm down. So the first one says, give me Nirvana I can dance to. Got it. Okay, sorry. No, I get it. Sorry. Oh. Man, that is a hard habit to break, saying sorry when that is not at all the word you mean to be saying. Anyway, give me Nirvana I can dance to. Are you saying you can't dance to curse Nirvana? Give me Nirvana I can dance to, like no one's watching, or if they are, give it up. Huh? Who's supposed to give it up, them or you? Are they supposed to give it up and start dancing with you, or give it up that they're watching you? I'm confused. But I get it. You want to have that footloose and fancy free feeling, and you want to dance like no one's looking, and yeah, I think I may have been onto something there. If they are watching, give it up. Like, you ain't fooling nobody. Maybe you want to be dancing too. Well, what's holding you back? You gotta, like, help yourself. Okay, and the next one is tame the shit show by finding calm in the chaos. So, I mean, I think both of those kind of are in line with what I was saying. So the other side of this, tame the shit show by finding calm in the chaos. The other side says one word, meditate. I don't know if she does that. She must be doing something, though, to be able... I mean, it's different to be able to sit there and calmly talk to me. She's not there at the school having to deal with the teacher face-to-face. She's not, like, talking with the child about whatever happened. It's like a safe space. It's completely removed from the situation, really. So, no problem finding calm at that time. But she must be able to maintain it anyway, because she's raising successful humans that potentially, you know, I mean, like I said, I'm really impressed. This is the experience of a lot of people, so it wouldn't be the first time that I've known someone with a child with a similar thing going on. And I don't even really want to call it an issue. It's like other people have issues with it, and it is because the balance is shifting from the more sort of docile, even problem child, even the more docile problem child. This is a misperception, I think. I don't think that we're understanding what is happening with these kids. So this one reads, Blessed AF. What's one thing you're grateful for? Well, I live indoors. That's what I'm grateful for. I can think of a whole bunch more, but it's not about me, is it? Well, I know that she is grateful for those kids. Not to make it about me, but I paid her like a couple of very clear compliments. I was like, this is impressive the way you're dealing with, like you heard what I had to say. Like, I don't know if she gets it other places. I'm sure she gets gratification from seeing that, you know, she's been confronted with these problems and come through, and with her kids, like, pretty good, and she's had other stuff going on in her life too. So, I mean, that, I guess, is one of the benefits of having the people come in and spend some time with me, is I find it very gratifying to talk to people and learn about them, and hopefully I can share something worth a damn in return, you know? Sorry, I did a hair treatment for my scalp to put on my alopecia, and it has undissolved bits of Epsom salt in there, which is part of the formula that I made up. Anyway, this card says, keep calm and fucking breathe. Let me read the other side first. Raise the vibe and breathe at a time. Oh, breathe one breath at a time. Why did I leave off one? Raise the vibe, breath at a time. This one is not having an English as a first language problem, and I just am deleting words so it sounds like some kind of patois. Raise the vibe one breath at a time. Make light of it. Well, I mean, I guess that's how she makes it, you know? And also, blessed AF, sorry, I'm being interrupted to let you know that all of this, the issues and the problems, the having them and the resolving them, is a gift. She's blessed AF. And anyone in her periphery, because I'm right now benefiting and oh, she's getting dizzy. Okay, whew. Calm down. I'm not even looking up and I'm having a severe vertigo. Okay, so the last card, keep calm and fucking breathe. I mean, I've said it, I've said it to myself many a time, and boy, I wish I could listen more. But, I was watching, sorry, my teeth are trying to slide around. I was watching Linda G, the Comanche Psychic. That is the name of her YouTube channel. She is fantastic. I love her very much. Anyway, she was talking about like the heart rate going up when you're hearing or seeing something. And I think she was talking about something in politics. But this stuff, like as I was saying about this woman at work, trying to be at work with this teacher calling up and going, you know, I want to put your kid in the stocks in front of the school. And it took me a while to realize, like I heard her phone going off, but I'm like over here like doing my thing, writing and crap, so I'm not paying a whole lot of attention, but I'm hearing her phone going off, and that was why I finally went over and said, is everything okay? Because this is, I mean, I know my mom hated getting school calls at work, so, you know, like I said, here is different. Here is like the safe space. She was able to sit there and be able to do something on her phone, and it's not a problem. But she also wasn't in there like having a cow, which I appreciate, you know? Again, she had to like find some kind of way to tame the shit show, right? The chaos. She has to find a way to be calm because, like, look at it this way. With what's going on right now, fear is the least, like, efficient way to move through it and forward. Like experiencing the times. And, you know, part of yoga is breathing, and that thing about, you know, take 10 deep breaths, like, I know I spent most of my life going, shut up, that's stupid, that'll never work. But once I lost that attitude, I was able to notice, like, okay, it does have a calming effect. And if I weren't such a, like, hypersensitive chihuahua freak, maybe I could breathe before I go into crazy yappy mode, or you get the drift. But I'm learning more. I'm getting better at it. Here and now, like for me, that kind of, I got to remember to do that more, because it really does kind of put the brakes on and go, okay, stop, and then I can go, okay, now breathe. But so when I was watching Linda, she was talking about watching the stuff and keeping calm, and her guide suggested a breathing technique, and it was 2 breaths. You do it this way 2 times. Quick breath, slow inhale. Quick breath, slow inhale. Then the 3rd breath, slow, long inhale, slow exhale. And so I found that works. And then I'm going to add something that she didn't say, and I would say do this with any calming breathing, or maybe just breathing if you can remember to think about it. Make the exhale longer, because I swear to God, that, like, when I want to get into this sort of meditative state or get in the zone, I'm not sure how else to define it, but it's like different from just regular, and breathing gets you there. Man, it is like amazing when you breathe. Like the exhale lasts longer than the inhale. It's like a switch flips. Did I say it right? Because in my mind I was hearing it's like a flip switches. So keep calm and fucking breathe. And raise the bribe. Bleed through. Sorry, too much political TV. Raise the vibe one breath at a time. Well, there's counting involved, so remember. Nope, I'm going to give you the recipe. 1 quick inhale. 1 slow exhale. Another quick inhale. Another slow exhale. For the 3rd breath, slow long inhale. Slow exhale. And for all 3, exhale longer than the inhale. Every time. I'm telling you, it's so good. Thank you and good night.